Freedom Fighters! Welcome back to another Friday weekly wrap up where I cover current events and the news and politics and all the other kinds of stuff. You know the deal. Like, share, subscribe, all the stuff. Anyway, Trump's alive. We got the confirmation in his midweek press conference, which I thought was all just ridiculous anyway. This whole thing, oh, Trump's dying, or, he's already dead, and they were running the conspiracy theories and, all this stuff. It was pretty much a joke. But then the other thing, he posted a picture on Truth Social with a watermark in his hand of Q plus. So the Q-tards are riled up all up over again, thinking he's signaling to them that the time is coming, the storm is coming. And if you've already watched this channel and been a subscriber here for a while, you know my feelings on Q. I've covered that a couple times. You can probably go watch some of my videos prior to this. I think I have a dedicated Q video that's still up, but I don't even know why he still posts this stuff. I don't know if he looks or he's too boomer to actually know about these like internet meme culture and like all the stuff going on. So I think he just sees these pictures that look good to him and show him in a good light, with the storm behind him and fireworks and all this stuff, and he doesn't see that there's a watermark or a ghost out Q in the background or something. So he just fuels that conspiracy. But and World War III's going on. There's troops in the streets, record gold prices, and everything's going great, right? For the nothing's ever gonna happen crowd, which I've been a part of. I've definitely been. I actually did a video. I don't know, maybe a couple weeks back, a month or two ago, where I was saying, are you prepared for nothing to happen? Because I see this continuous slow burn, the death by 1,000 cuts that seems to just keep going. Like, I don't really believe in that flashbulb moment or this, instantaneous, civil war, revolution kicking off. Yeah, I feel like it's just going to be, um, the slow rot and continuous decay of our society. But Putin and Z and Modi and Kim Jong Un and the whole gang were together for China's military parade this week, and Trump sent out another truth that said, give them my warm regards while you conspire against the United States. This passive aggressive, like, we know what you guys are doing, we know what you're planning, and, eventually it's going to come to a head. Now, if you've seen previous videos, my timeline still is 2032. That's kind of when I've been speculating everything's gonna happen. As always, do your own research and form your own opinions. Could it happen tomorrow? Could it happen, weeks or a month from now? Yeah, it could. So always get prepared and, do your own stuff. But I was actually thinking when I made that nothing's gonna happen video, I was thinking about, like, if you start your country, started a new country with like your best friend, right? You never fight, you agree pretty much on everything, best case scenario. And it's just you and your friend and, your wife and his wife, and you guys both have children, and you play this out for a couple years. Your children have children, they have 5 kids, you have 5 kids, and you get where I'm getting. Down the road, generational, their kids have kids, the population of your town, Freedomsville, let's call it, starts out with 2, becomes 4, 10, 15, 50, 100, 200, 1,000. like that, and they're all, generational lineage from you and your friend. Eventually somewhere down the road, there's gonna be war. There's gonna be conflict. So when everyone makes these, arguments of like, oh, can't we just all get along and love and peace, and that's never been the history on planet Earth. It's always been war and conflict. It's always been someone has resources someone else needs, and um, conquering and stuff like that. And it doesn't even have to be your friend. I mean, if it was you alone, with your wife or whatever, basically Adam and Eve. I mean, that's literally what happened. You know, um, Adam and Eve, and then we all end up killing each other over stuff, and we're all descendants, from one lineage and God's children. We the people, yet we still find ways to kill and maim and slaughter each other over. But and talking about that, I've talked about brother wars before. We let's not get into World War II again, but we're all technically brothers and sisters, and um, the Middle Eastern world is basically the same thing. They've been fighting, literally from the beginning of time over what started the whole thing, and basically the creation of humans and all that, and religion, and um, that's probably the biggest brother war that's ever been going on. Um, what is it, Sunni and Shia, and they're the same thing. They're Muslims. They both worship Muhammad. They do worship Muhammad, right? I'm not an expert, and like I always say, do your own research and stuff like that. And if you know otherwise, write in the comments below. But yeah, I mean, I think the split between Sunni and Shia is they both believe in Muhammad, but when he died, it was somebody else who was second in line or something like that. And I think one religion believes that there's other prophets where the other religion was like, no, Muhammad was the end. Just kind of like, where we believe in Jesus, and then, everyone, 'cause every once in a while someone comes up, which we would call a false prophet, that claims to be Jesus reincarnate or something like that. Um, but at the end of the day, we all end up fighting each other, and that's pretty much where the term brother wars came over. But and I did a video back to it was called like, "Are good people aren't inherently good," or something like that. And if people always find a way to fight, right? Because of greed and the lust for power over others and stuff like that. And some people just want to be left alone, right? I'll probably do a video on that. But yeah, I mean, people are greedy, and these politicians are, psychopaths. They're literally in mansions out there, with their Lamborghinis and their jets, and they're out in wine country on a ranch, 40, 50 acres, whatever, a New York penthouse or something like that, and they're looking down on you. They're taxing you for $600 payments on Venmo, or whatever you're doing. You're working a side job. They want to know that you're selling something on eBay or whatever. They want every single penny for you. They're taxing you, the car you drive, whatever, and how much better they are than you. Um, and you need an electric car to reduce your footprint while they fly their private, jets around. But where's that money come from, right? My truck's been broken down for damn near like a year now. Maybe, I mean, I just fixed it a little while ago, but prior to that, it was about a year. And then it's just go get, just spend 80K on an electric vehicle, you pleb. You peasant, you need to reduce your carbon footprint. Yeah, revolution is definitely coming. And we've talked before about Thomas Jefferson, quote every 20 years or so that there needs to be a revolution. Um, I think 20 years is pretty hastily. I mean, I feel like it should just come when it comes, right? Like if there's a tyrant that takes over and is oppressive and rules over the people, then that's when it should come. It's not necessarily a time period, every 20, 50, 100 years. I feel about like every century, like every 100 years, you are just going to get that change of the guard, right? Like I talked about, you and your friends start a country together and it's all good and you guys are best of friends and you get along, but then your children are not gonna be, or they're not, they don't even know you. They're not going to be able to rekindle or put together that friendship that you and your friend had. Now they view their children as the enemy because oh, he took from my river. I need that farmland to grow our crops to feed our village, and that lands on his side of the fence, and his property, and that's when you get neighborly disputes and all that stuff. But that's what happens as generations change and demographics change, and the whole landscape changes. Revolutions, civil wars, world wars, conflict, and it's just inevitable it's gonna go down that road. And like I said, I don't have the crystal ball. I see 2032 being it because I see Gavin Newsom popping up here in 28, and he's going to be the one who opens up the flood border. He floods the border, reopens it up. He takes the guns, which puts us in civil war like conditions. Um, we further decay, and then in 32, they're going to put forth a kind of another Donald Trump, probably a controlled op, right wing figure that's gonna, just like Trump, he's gonna sound good, he's gonna say all the things, and really all he's gonna do is just the same what's happening now. Further crackdown, and all this stuff is being released under Trump. The CBDC, the Christie Nome, Homeland Security, ID, and yeah, Elon Musk said he's gonna be funding the, JD Vance's party and the chips and all that, and the agenda just keeps moving forward. Um, and then I think like once we get to, civil war like conditions in America, is when they finally kick off the World War. So they can attempt to escape it all. They'll run to their bunkers. They'll let us peasants fight it all out, and that's pretty much how it's gonna go. But yeah, I mean midterms and stuff. We already talked about that. We're gonna be losing that, and then I feel like it's headed to Gavin Newsom. Like I said, but um, and then cash and all that is they funded the FBI even more. They gave them a new building, and they're gonna hand that over to Gavin Newsom. And then he's gonna, I mean, if these people think they're gonna have any careers in the podcast world or whatever, talking about, you know, I don't want to hear him talk about the corruption and, oh, Gavin Newsom's using the FBI as, his political, Gestapo force or whatnot. It's like, dude, you literally platformed them. You built it for them. When you said you were going to turn it into a museum day one, you built them a new building and, gave them a hush fund of, millions, billions of dollars and handed over the country. So, yeah, it's inevitable. That's, I guess, my new opinion. I flip flopped on that. But let me know what you think, man. Until the next one, you know what it is. We are on our own. Nobody's coming to save us. Only God can save you. So get right with God. Freedom fighters out.